I applied Alex Hormozi's advices for the past 4 months. Here's everything that I learned, and here's how you can do it too. I promise that after this video, you will be able to actually just apply the advices that Alex Hormozi gives. If you don't know who is Alex Hormozi, well, he's a content creator. He has a company that he just sold for $49 million, and he's a millionaire, and he's also building a $1 billion brand. So that's all what you need. Now, the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to give you the story, give you the lessons that I learned then, and I'm going to add some secrets of mine. All right. So being honest, I didn't know who is Alex Hormozi a long ago. I was doing this research for a video that I wanted to create, and I found out that, there's a good video. It was not Alex Hormozi's. And I watched that video and I was like, this is awesome. Now, I found the same title, not the same, but similar title, being used by Alex Hormozi. And I was like, okay, this is intelligent. This is the type of stuff that you want to do as a content creator. I watched that video and it was also awesome. I was like, okay, cool. But the thing with Alex Hormozi actually helped me to watch other stuff. So I found myself actually consuming his content, looking deeper into his content and stuff like that. One of the most important things that I learned from Alex Hormozi the past 4 months, before I didn't know who he is, before 4 months I didn't know who he is. In the past 4 months I knew who he is. Here's what I learned, okay? So the most important thing that I learned was actually you have to get back to back to back. It's different. And here's what I mean. It's like there's this quote from Conor McGregor. He speaks about it so beautifully. The man speaks facts. And he says it so good. He talks about it and he says, look, I didn't only win, but I went back to back to back to back. Not everybody does that. I love that. And it feels as if Alex Hormozi also says and believes in the same thing. So when he speaks about anything really, whether that be business, content creation, that's pretty much all he talks about. He speaks about how you have to do it back to back to back. And by the way, I read also the books, so that's also one thing. But so this is all will make sense in a second. All right. He says, well, you have to do volume. So you create the system. It's like you have to put in volume. And then you want to analyze. So it's like the best 10%, the worst 10%. You do what's the best, you delete what's the worst. And you just repeat the cycle. This is something that most people don't do. I didn't do before. I started doing about 1 year ago, 1 year and 2 months. Really when I started applying this principle. And he speaks about it so beautifully, and I love that. And also he speaks about the fact that people don't need to be taught as much as they need to be reminded. That's also important. Because I found that a few years back, I realized that I was always trying to become so original and so insane about every piece of content that I create. But I realized that really I consume pretty much the same content. At the time I was consuming more content than I do now. And I realized that really I consume the same content again. And everybody that I love actually creates pretty much similar contents over the time. They change stuff, but it feels as if it's the same content structure. And that's why he says it's people needs to be more reminded that they need to be taught. It's pretty interesting. One of the most important stuff that I learned too is the principles actually shown in the book. So all these principles will make sense in a second. So basically, in the book, he has 2 books, $100 million offers, $100 million leads. Read both of them. I love when he says the core 4. There is about core 4 in 2 books. There's one for the leads, one for the offers. It's how can you provide value? What's the value equation? And how it has to be related to perceived likelihood of achievement, dream outcome, and also the bad stuff time and delay or the effort sacrifice, stuff like that. It's pretty awesome equation that it gives you a good understanding of like how you provide value to people and how you actually can increase that value, and what are the stuff that puts your value down. It's pretty good. Actually, a lot of times I find myself not going back to it. I just go through, okay, so that's the dream outcome and stuff like this. This is kind of like I run it in my head. It's pretty awesome. This is how you know that something is pretty good. It's if you're running it in your head. Now, also in the other book, he speaks about marketing. Marketing, like there's 4 ways. There is cold outreach. There's cold outreach, warm outreach, paid ads, and creating content. I love that as a principle, because also like I was doing. So I had this service started 9 months ago, and also at the same time, I was adding another avatar to my business or my service. And I didn't realize that actually, so it was after reading the book, obviously. What I realized after that just like the vehicle to target that avatar is not the same vehicle that targets my first avatar. I ended up stopping that avatar, or right now I don't market for that. But the thing is, I just realized that, well, the marketing differs. And to get the leads from the second avatar, I have to use another way, which is really like not my thing. My thing was content creation. I've done that for over a decade now. Of course I'm going to do that, other than just going for warm outreach or cold outreach. But also it's something good that you can build reps up like around, and I'm pretty like sure I can do that. It's not like I can do that, I've done that to actually get my first clients in my second avatar. It's just that I didn't continue because it doesn't make sense. I figured out that it doesn't make sense due to other reasons. I think one of the greatest stuff also about Alex Hormozi on how he speaks about stuff that usually people that wouldn't speak about is like beauty, like how good you looking are you. Obviously he's in the gym industry. He was in the gym industry. I'm pretty sure he is too. He still like is, and he speaks about how actually looking good create content better, makes your sales better. The best salespeople in the world are actually better looking. It's like these things I really like. I was talking to people for years and years, content creators, and I'm like, dude, when you're good looking, your videos gets better. They were just naturally good looking. And they never understood me. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you. They got me even questioning myself. I remember going to periods when it was like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to look good. See how that goes. But the thing is, like once you see a content creator like him, he comes into these conclusions, but he also has a system or a process that actually makes sure. I have that too now. A few years back, I didn't have that. So that's something that would help, especially like a few years back. Another thing, if there's one thing that I learned from Alex Hormozi that actually is pretty good, is actually the rule that he has, which is more, better, new. It's like, if you're doing anything, just do it more. It's like, do it more. It's like you're training, train more, whatever it is. Sell more, etc. When you can't do any more, do better. So do what you do better. When you can't do any better, do more. So do more. And it's kind of like that. When you can do both, you can do more and you can't do any better, you do new. You do something new. I think this is pretty interesting, because the thing is, it's not because of like what it is, but because like I had this problem that happened to me about 3 years ago. I was thriving in content creation. I was getting like 4 million views a month across platforms. It's doing pretty good. But I ended up stopping about 8 months in. All the success and early success like of the brand. But really like I just got stopped. I stopped myself basically due to various reasons. But one of them, I think the most important, is because I didn't do more at the time. Later on, I realized that was my weakness and like I have to do more. And that's really like when I started WhiTeeee Galaxy. But the thing is, like if I only just skipped, like because I was doing better, at some point I couldn't do any better, right? I had no resources. I was broke. You can say whatever you want. So he couldn't do any better. So the obvious answer will be to shut up and do more. Just shut up. Just don't speak about quality. Nobody cares about you anyway. And even if your videos are shit and people are not gonna watch them, people are not gonna watch you anyway if you don't make videos in the first place. And because it was so dumb, I didn't make videos. And I didn't realize that after like 2 years later, pretty much like close to 2 years, I realized that, or like 1 year and a half, I realized that was like the thing. I realized that it's about me. Like I've never been as consistent or as putting like so much volume in a very long, like I can put volume, but I didn't do it in long periods. It's not like 1 year putting volume. It's like 1 month or 1 week or 10 days, stuff like that. Obviously it's easier than putting volume for 1 year. So I realized that would be my goal. So I said like, now that's when I launched WhiTeeee Galaxy, and that's pretty much I said, look, this year 100 videos, and I did that. But the thing is, like, for me, if I knew that principle like 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't be in that situation that I was in. And it's like these principles are very important. Like this is one of the most important. I was even talking to my class the other day. I said that I have to be the responsible of the class. They didn't want to. But like, there was this situation that's happening and I was furious about it. I said, look, it's like if you want to convince there's someone who's in charge, you have to just do more better than you. You know what I mean? I literally said it like that because I said, you have to solve it. She was like, no, show us how to solve it. I said, sure, here's how to solve it. You just do more. You have to just go back to back speaking to him. If that doesn't work, you do better. Maybe you're talking to him bad. Maybe you're talking to him on the phone. You should talk to him in person, maybe, etc. And it's not if nothing works, you do new. You just figure out something new to do it. It's like these is like the ways that it's like my brain runs with, and it's pretty good. Like the way he states it is pretty interesting. Now, I would say there's a lot of stuff that actually I think that always stick with me. Like one of the most important things is like, what's the cost of what you want? This is obviously mentioned in so many books. Like the 4-Hour Workweek speaks about it. I just read these lines yesterday, which was awesome, from the 4-Hour Workweek. He says, in order for you, like if you want a big good thing to happen, you have to be fine with small bad things happening. I'm pretty sure Alex Hormozi has read the 4-Hour Workweek too, because I read his books 2 months ago. Alex Hormozi, like 3 months ago. And now I'm reading the 4-Hour Workweek and I see like the similarities. I'm pretty sure Alex Hormozi has read the book. He says that I don't read books, but also I'm pretty sure he says that he was reading book that at some point. So the fact that if you want to like something big happen, so whatever it is, it's like it's something that gets you closer to your dreams or whatever it is that you want to get. And let's say there's other stuff that will happen, so be it. If it's not the most important thing on your to-do list, just it's fine. It's just like, okay, cool. Yeah. And the thing is, because I was reading the 4-Hour Workweek, it was like kind of like binge reading. He speaks about it and I was actually in the same situation because I had like important stuff and it felt like overwhelming for a second. When I read those lines, I was like, yeah, now I comprehend. This is the most important thing, and if these bad little things has to happen, so be it. You know, the 4-Hour Workweek says it like this. He says, well, if there's a gun in your head, how would you do it? All right, cool, go do it like that. It's pretty good. Now, there is also like other principles. So Alex Hormozi speaks about different stuff. It's like on Instagram, he speaks like crazy amount of, quotes, crazy amount of things. Crazy, it means a lot, okay? So it doesn't mean crazy as like out of mind. It just means a lot. One thing that is also interesting about him is actually like how he speaks about the gym and training. I figured out this Actually, I don't remember where I saw this, but you see, I'm pretty sure it was a clip or someone analyzing something like this. But you see, every content creator that people love, including yourself, including myself, are usually athletics. Like, you see, they're pretty good. Like, now, you see, I Show Speed. He's a pretty good content creator. Like, I've been looking at him a few days ago. He has like 40 million subscribers, or 30, whatever. Right? Like, 40 million subscribers is a pretty good number. He streams, but the thing is, he's a pretty good athlete. There's this clip that just showed, I've seen it. He's running, he's racing against Noah, and racing against all of these athletes, and actually beat them, or close to beat them, or whatever. That's athleticism. Like, if someone do backflips and stuff like that, that's athleticism. And it's not only with speed. You see that with also Logan Paul back in the day. Okay, so nice stat back in the day. Also, you see like 2020, so I'll give like different periods. Iraq, when he popped up, he was actually pretty athletic. Like, he was doing backflips and stuff like that. And also, like, right now, Alex Hormozi, we say that he's popping up pretty much. Yeah. He's also pretty athletic. Like, the guy is jacked. He says, like, I was training since I was 16. And I'm not going to also give, like, the other examples. Like, Cristiano Ronaldo is pretty good. The Rock is awesome. You got the point. So it's like, there is a trend between, like, people who train and people who actually are loved by people or famous or whatever. And it, like, you know, I'm an athlete myself. Like, I've been training since I was very young. Probably, like, I was 7, 8, we're doing parkour and stuff like that. But, like, the thing is, it's pretty interesting. And I think also men respect people that respect other men that are training. Like, we go to college, I meet all of these colleagues, and we just speak about training all the time. I'm like, oh, you train? Oh, you got big. Your hands are big now. Damn, that's cool. You have to give me my program. It's like, even if it's a joke, it shows, like, how we all think the same way. You know, it's like some of us would be like, oh, well, I should train more. It's like, I'm getting a little bit skinny. I have to gain some muscles and stuff. And it's like, well, we all been there. And it's kind of like these conversations that, like, probably wouldn't have. Obviously, like, females probably don't have this, but I'm pretty sure they do too. Okay, there's, like, it depends on who is the person and stuff like that. Now, speaking about actually, like, sports, I think also another good thing about Alex Hormozi that everyone can learn is pretty much also consistency. Like, he's pretty consistent at everything. Like, he speaks about how he schedules his day, and also, like, how is he just consistent overall, how he does the same thing over and over and over again, right? Which is, by the way, is like one of the essence. Like, once you see, I've seen this clip of Cristiano Ronaldo. I actually watched the entire interview a few months ago, and he says this. He says, so the interviewer, he was asking him, which was a collaboration about Hoop, which is like an app that tracks your sleep. He was partnering with them, and he says, and the interviewer says, what made you you? It's like, what do you think is it's like how your day goes and what you do daily. And he says, the hardest thing is discipline. He says, look, if I'm gonna give you the blueprint, will you follow it? I tell you how I do it. Will you do it? And it was this clip that got me, oh, now you comprehend, because basically the meaning is, he tells you what it is. He just told you. He's literally disciplined. He has to just do this, and do it tomorrow, and do it the day after, etc. And the reason is, there's this quote in Arabic. It says, the hardest is the easiest. Or like the impossible easy. Not impossible, but like the hard easy. And that's what it is. He speaks about it so beautifully, Cristiano Ronaldo. He says, like, I'm going to give you the blueprint. Will you follow it? Will you follow it? Tell me. Because he just tells what it is. and he understands that even if people know, it doesn't have, like, probably they won't follow it anyway. The people that will follow it will also follow anyway without you telling them. So I see that also, like, yeah, it's these ideas that are very important that people like can learn. So there's another thing that I learned from Alex Hormozi. I think it's about putting volume also into content creation. This is something that I started about 1 year and a few months or a half ago. But it's good when you see also like other big content creators also speaking about how volume is very important. So for me personally, 3 years ago, I had my biggest spike in my career, like almost a decade of creating content. At that spike, I was getting 4 million views a month. You know, I had a video on YouTube that got 3.3 million views, etc. But like 8 months later, after like launching the brand, I just stopped uploading. You know, obviously for various reasons. But you know, I realized that volume is what I need. If I have to get back, right? If you want to say get back, okay? I don't like that word. But if you want to get back, you have to put in volume. Because volume because when you stop, you don't only stop uploading, but most important than all is you lose momentum. So momentum is very like the most important thing you can have. You see, I have uploaded 100 videos last year. I have 100 videos ready this year. I have momentum. I have an absurd amount of momentum. Last month, I uploaded more than 100 pieces of content. And yes, Alex Hormozi uploaded 350. Also, he has a fucking team. I'm alone, okay? Okay, this is not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Being honest, no. I'm pretty sure I can also upload like 350. But more than that is really, it's my new record. Let's state it at that. So I'm not going down, I'm going up. Cool. All right. So yeah, I was uploading like four videos a day. You know, I was uploading 24 videos a day for 2 weeks. So these stuff really like makes everything different. You understand? Like in the past week I uploaded, or like in the past 2 weeks I filmed. Dude, it's an absurd amount. It's like 20 hours of content, probably more. I don't know. But the thing is, it's like the volume gives you momentum. Momentum is more precious than experience, than anything else. Think about it. Mr. Beast just stops uploading for 2-3 years. He will never be the same. It's momentum. Momentum, you don't have to do something crazy. It's really what Cristiano Ronaldo was speaking about. It's discipline. You have to do it today, tomorrow, the day after. And once you do it in the hard days, momentum gets built exponentially. So let's say you have an exam, and despite all that, I'm still uploading a video, filming and stuff like that. Literally, I had 2 exams this week. I was like, these things are like, builds momentum. You get unbreakable with time. I always speak about how when I was building WhiTeeee Galaxy, second month, my mother got diagnosed by multiple myeloma. Second month. I was in the hospital with her for the second month, the entire month. You know, so like going through, I'm gonna state it as Alex Hormozi stated because I know what he says about it. He says it in a sales process. Like when he sell people, he says, like, why didn't you do it? He says, look, well, I'm going through whatever. Cool. You know what? If you're going through this and you're actually still gonna do it anyway, it's better, because that means it will be guaranteed that when your times will get easy, you will do it easily. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, I told you, like, I didn't know Alex Hormozi at the time, but I'm pretty sure, like, it's a pretty awesome quote. Look, as I promised, now you have all the lessons that I learned from Alex Hormozi. You can watch his videos and have a great idea about like what his videos looks like. if you don't want to watch, this is really like the most important things, and not only like the lessons, but really like how I learned them myself in comparison to how he says them. I think he states a lot of facts very beautifully. And the good thing is like you can apply this literally right now, and what you've seen here you can never unsee it. So might as well subscribe.